Hey people, this is Sam again with Sam's Hook and Tackle. Just wanted to reach out again. We're going to be talking about some what and why I use these lures and how they work in the water. We're going to start out with some simple crankbaits. This is going to be pretty straightforward here, just kind of going through some stuff. So this is a bomber. This is one of my favorites actually here. This bad boy is going to be able to sit on the water. If you're pulling it slow enough, the minute you give it a little tug, she's going down, and she's going to want to be flipping around pretty steady there. I can't name or put a number on how many times I've caught fish off this bad boy. This is one of my favorites here, the bomber. So it's called a square. It's got a square front in the front there, so you can kind of see what it's doing there as it goes down, wiggling in through, making some sound with the hooks and everything. Second is it's a 13. That's the actual company. This is called the Jabberjaw. This is one of my favorites as well here. This little plate here moves. She's got a pretty good dive to her. She's got some weight to her. No ball bearings or anything into it, but you have the option to actually be able to hook into the top of her plate here. So as she moves through the water, she's going to jiggle quite nicely. You pull her down, she's going to start moving real nice back and forth here. Pretty realistic. So you can kind of see she's got indented eyes and stuff like that. But that's the Jabberjaw there. Super nice company. 13. I got at least 20 or 30 of these guys here. We're going to keep going through the 13s as we're talking. This bad boy's called the Gordito. Fat, luscious colors. Same thing. This bad boy is going to dive, though this is a diver. So you can see by that big, huge plate there. But she also rises pretty quick. So as she goes down, she's going to go down real fast and kind of bubble back up there. And it'll give you a little time to jig until she hits the top. She's going to level back out kind of like that. But haven't had any luck on the Gordito yet. But she's got some sweet action to her. Beautifully built. 13 really does a great job on it. Their hooks are, not just, they're blacked out stainless. Perfect company there. But that is the Gordito there. Now these are things I usually use on every trip. I used to be a big fan of Rapala. But 13 has just come a long way. It's just the colors are immaculate. This bad boy is called the El Diablo, which is going to have a ball bearing system in it. You can hear that rattle real nice. This thing is going to immediately go down though. That's why the top is up here, because you have to physically pull this bad boy back up, and the entire time it's rattling its way up. Super nice stuff there. Deep diver though, definitely. So now as we talk about different lures here, we're going to put those to the side for a second here. We're going to jump into swim baits. One of my favorites is the watermelon pearl. As you can see, that bad boy's got some good color in it. Now these things are going to be used for all kinds of different actions. You can use them weightless, split shot rig, Texas rig, Carolina rig, wacky rig, jig head, or what we call a drop shot. These things, if you hook them in right, they actually act as a worm, or you can do a little bit of jigging on top. Now I've hooked these bad boys into all kinds of things, jig baits. I use them non-stop when it comes to fishing now. They come in all kinds of different colors, different shapes, all that kind of stuff. This bad boy is called the Shadalicious. It's modeled after a shad. Green gizzard. It's got a lot of action here. Now this is usually bigger than what I like to use. That's going to be a 5.5 inch piece here, but super nice action. That's going to keep it moving through the water there pretty nicely, giving a lot of splash. I also like to use what they're called trash colored little spankies. They're made by Netbait, which I like. I go between Netbait and Yum all the time. So this is going to be a trash, this little spanky here. Now I use these nonstop. I've had so much luck with the white. I don't exactly know how many fish I've caught on them, but I stay with white. I love the trash. I love that shine. The fish love it. We love it. So we're gonna jump into some things that I have set up for jig baits here. These are some nice little jig baits. Now I have a trash set up on this bad boy here. These spoons here are going to give you some good stuff here. This is a lunker hunt, lunker hut. Nice play on top of the water as this bad boy goes through. She's going to be turning those spoons there. I'm able to jig this up and pull it up and kind of get that good action going there with this bad boy. Little spanky on here. Now, as you can tell, I put a lot of spankies on my stuff here. I've got a couple more. This is one of my most used here. I love this weedless guy here. Big, huge, heavy head. Lots of color, as you can tell. Now these have the option to actually put little tiny shakers on top of them there, and they don't catch weed. I've barely gotten hung up on this, and I've fished it all the way through lily pads and everything that you can imagine here. But once again, it's going to be a deep diver, and it's going to come back up. Lots of shaking, lots of movement there. Really love it. Good stuff there when it comes to catching a lot of bass. Now, most of the stuff that I'm showing you here is going to be fresh or salt water. And they're just great to use regardless here. I've got a lot of plates that are kind of shedding here. This is a chatterbait. So this bad boy is a chatterbait, and as it moves through, it's going to chatter. Really making some wake there. Loving the action. Same deal. It's going to float down. It's going to chatter. Now I can pull this across the top of the water there. It's going to give it some good action. I can't remember for the life of me what I have on there right now. But it's very rare that I'll actually break out one of these. I've got it set up in my gulp. So I've got a gulp alive there, and it's got some good flavor to it. Fish seem to like it, so I douse a lot of my stuff in the gulp. Now, I'm not saying that it's an attractant. I've really never had too much luck with the gulp stuff, but you never know. It doesn't hurt to be able to do that. Now, all this stuff is coming in all kinds of different colors, shapes, sizes. I've got top water spinners. I've got a couple of these bad boys. So this thing loves to make some noise. Talk about tearing the water up here. Now I run this straight just like this. I don't use anything else. But the color is an attractant. They love that blue. And when it hits that sun and that wake coming in between there, it's just spinning, just total taking good water shots back in the back there, tearing up that water. They love it. Now I've got a couple of different methods that I use. I kind of like the propped ones as well. Kind of gives it a little bit of a direction, as you can see. Now this will just help it turn a little bit, and it'll make its wake all the way through there. And I've got a couple of different crankbaits that I use, bigger crankbaits. This little guy's got a good little lizard tail on him. Now he's a long, hard hitter. I've got a couple of bass on here. This bad boy just kind of spins through the water like a snake, and they love it. There's not too much stuff that I go out and I don't use. I love my frogs. I love these little guys here, especially in through the lily pads. Now this is something that, yeah, you gotta squeeze it out, kind of get some of that water out of there. But the action on these feet are ridiculous. The bass love them. I've caught a couple of largemouth, smallmouth. Shoot, I've had pike hit on these things. All kinds of different actions here. So the latest thing I've been actually using are these realistic. These bad boys, they just love, they move like a fish through the water. They've got these clear fins here. I've caught a couple of big, huge bass on these bad boys. And they work as, you know, I think I got them from Bass Pro Shop. Multiple different colors. Great action on these things. Hands down, one of the best things I've probably bought in a long time. They've got a like a cloth insert there. I'm pretty sure they're made of plastic. Some of them I've seen are made of wood, but hands down, probably another one of the best things that I've ever purchased there. And then we start getting into these bad boys. Talk about throwing some distance here if you're looking for that kind of stuff there. I personally am not a fan of these. I bought these. I bought 2 of them. They've got great swim action on them, but I've never personally caught anything on these yet. I also don't have them fully set up with another bottom treble hook there. Something that I want to do here in the near future is get these bad boys out and running. They are completely just great feeling, good color, great eyes on these things. But once again, I haven't caught anything on those. I've broken up this bad boy a couple of times. Now this thing dives. This is a heavy, heavy guy. So as you're pulling this bad boy back up, it's swimming. It's showing some true action there. Without a doubt, great product. Once again, I don't know the name of that guy there. I got it from Bass Pro, I believe. Super good action. And then we kind of go back into like the little fish guys here, but these are more like frogs, dude. They're made to just kind of go over the lily pad, kind of do a little bit of a flop. They hold air, so you can kind of see or hear. Perfect little guy, kind of like the frog, but without the legs. I've got a couple of nice little, what was it? It was a largemouth, I think I got off of that bad boy there. And I think it was a pike. I think I got a pike off that thing. It's hard to tell. I've got so many. Kind of the same, similar to a frog here, still holding the water, got the double hooks coming out of the top here. But at the same time, you're getting that propeller pushing through the water, making that great sound, making that sound wave going through the water, making that water just kind of rumble up, bubble up behind it. Perfect little toy for also skipping across the lily pads, but it throws some good distance. Now, it doesn't have any weight in it, but on a bait caster, which I suggest that you're using all these on anyways, is just hands down one of the best things that I've ever bought. So we're pretty much, we've gone through how what lures I like and how they work. Now, what I want you guys to do is give me your opinions. I love opinions. I love to see and hear what you guys are actually catching stuff on, how your bait's working in the water. And once again, I'm just happy to start this thing. So if you got any questions, let me know. My name's Sam, Sam's Hooks and Tackle. We're going to get this thing started. Hopefully, as I progress, we'll get a little bit more organized here, because right now we're kind of shooting in the dark, especially when it comes to organization around here. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and good fishing.